everything around my music career has a lot of bombs there.
You've just been dodging like landmines.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Jess and welcome back to another episode of Totally Bombed, the podcast where we invite on performers to talk about times where they've totally bombed. Today's guest is Jimmy Ruffian, singer, songwriter, producer, musician, podcast host. Am I missing anything?
No, I think you got it all. I mean, I could add a bunch of like negative things like, yeah. Insomniac, and constantly anxious.
Yeah, I was gonna say anxious weirdo. Like,
yeah. You could add that.
yeah. So Jimmy and I do know each other because I co-host on his podcast, The Rough Report.
Yeah.
And you've been like doing it weekly. It's been going.
We've been actually staying on schedule. There was like a couple years there, past couple years where we were really spotty about it. Like we started doing it for fun in the middle of COVID because that's when a lot of people started doing that.
You either podcast or live streamed.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And I started doing the podcast just to try doing something new, and then we kind of just kept doing it, and then we fell off schedule for a while, and we were doing it like monthly and stuff like that for a little bit. But yeah, now we're back on track, and a good thanks to you for that.
I am type A in the most type B way. Like if you look at me, like I'm a mess. My room is a mess. But oh man, I can kick ass with a schedule. Like
I envy that.
Yeah. No, my husband does too. So it's fair. It's fair. That I'm just gonna say that right here. It's every Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you're into politics, definitely check that out. It's rough. We don't bomb. That's part of the show.
Yeah. And we spend a good time just like making fun of politics. I like there's so many other people out there just being very insightful. So I think us being insightful as well as just mocking everything is a good time.
Yeah. You know Madeline Pendleton on TikTok?
That sounds really familiar.
Communist, colored hair, runs a fashion brand.
Okay.
Where everyone gets the same
familiar.
take home. Yeah, okay. She gets a lot of hate for stupid stuff, and then but
who doesn't, right?
Yeah, she started a whole thing where she's like every day she's trying to explain communist principles in a dumber and dumber way.
Yeah.
And right now she's at rich people bad.
Yeah.
Workers good.
Yeah.
Workers group take down rich people. Like that's where she's at, and some people still don't get it. So
yeah, what I've noticed like with that is like it's this as many of my perspectives are because just reality, I guess. But it's going to sound a little bit negative, but the more I read about like how capitalism is kept at bay, how you form governments that are actually beneficial of the people, how you be a revolutionary in one form or another, it always seems to come out of a time of incredible desperation. So we're, generally people are feeling desperate right now, but evidently not desperate enough.
It's not until they're hungry.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that kind of seems to be the thing. People are still a little bit comfortable, and yeah.
Well, so if you want to have fun talking about the end of the world, definitely check out The Rough Report.
yeah.
And Jimmy also does live shows. He also plays music. He self-produced, recorded his whole album.
I just did a show on Friday. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I see you do a lot of shows around like the Ottawa area a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it took a couple of years to kinda, like, get in there and start to, like, cut my teeth. And, like, Ottawa, well, I guess it's like any town when you first, move there and you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, my first little while, I was just sounding like an idiot probably to, like, other musicians and stuff, and just begging them for, like, any information on, like, "How the fuck do you get a gig in this town?" You know? And,
Fair.
yeah, yeah, but it eventually, happened. Now, a lot of the gigs I've gotten haven't been, great. I mean, I have a lot of fun playing them, but they don't make money. So, yeah.
Well, I'm excited to
Yeah.
talk about that. We can talk about how the pay has flopped.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, first we're gonna get into our fast flop. So this is where we read some of your guys' stories on times you flopped. I try to keep it performer specific, so I got a few musician ones, live show ones picked out. If you have a flop story that you want to submit, feel free to check out our Reddit or DM any of our socials. So here we go. So this is from Gloomy Technology. Is the
I like the
username.
sounds of it already. Yeah.
The drummer got snowed into the city the day of a massive headline show due to bad planning that the rest of the band saw coming and had left a day before to avoid. So this is off to a great start.
Oh, that hurts.
We found 5 drummers in town and assigned each of how did you okay, sorry, how did you find 5 drummers in a
That
day?
that's yeah. No, that's crazy. 5 drummers in one day. What town was this? Like, unless it was like New York City or Los Angeles, or it's like some other crazy like artist hub city like that. I don't see how else you'd find 5 drummers that are ready, willing, and available, no less. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
like, good for them. Okay, we've had
Crazy.
5 drummers in town and assigned them each 2 songs from our set and proceeded to engage in the worst sound check of my life. We are not a cover band. These are art rock hardcore originals.
Art like, what do you call it?
Art
Art rock?
rock hardcore originals. That's what they
Art
wrote.
rock hardcore.
Yeah.
I've never heard that combination of words. I'm a bit confused.
I wanna Google this later.
Art
Them
like, even art rock, like, I feel like I maybe heard that before, but I actually I don't know what
Artsy
that
rock and
is.
roll? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like, well, it's all art, like,
Yeah.
if what you're trying to
We're more
say.
art than you. Then 40 minutes before curtain, our drummer made it from the city in someone's truck. We had a great show. I guess not a mess up on stage, but the potential for public disaster has never been so high, and we were all freaking out a little bit. Breaking up with
Yeah.
5 drummers in 15 minutes without pissing anyone off was our bass player's achievement of the year.
I wonder how you warmed that over. Like, you can have her drink tickets,
That's
you
what
know,
I
s
was thinking.
yeah, yeah,
Pay their bar tab for the night, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And of
Oh,
course, it's the
jeez.
bass player. They're like, "Send the bass player."
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I hope they got paid good for that gig, you know?
They traveled, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah,
Or they potentially got snowed in for the next day. So at least it didn't turn out too bad on stage. Could have been bad.
yeah,
Could have been bad.
definitely.
Okay. This one made me laugh. Moog Prog. Okay, I don't know what it means, but it comes up
Well,
later.
Moog is a synthesizer company,
Oh!
so the
Could prog be short
and
for,
then
like
prog and, like, progressive rock, like, like Dream Theater and shit. Uh, maybe that's it, I don't
he's
know.
a top 1% commenter, so maybe,
Oh,
like,
okay.
that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
apparently, that's what Reddit told me, so,
Alright.
okay. Worst messed up ever. Invited to sit in with the headliner act, we're going to play "Carry On My Wayward Son" by Kansas, and I'm slated to take a solo. Absolutely choke, completely freezed up. Maybe I hit 1 note, 2 perhaps. Disaster, humiliating. Still cringing typing this today, well over 10 years later.
Oh, that's yeah, that's brutal. That's
Yeah.
brutal.
Well, they have a follow-up.
Oh, okay.
That moment became a change in direction, and from that night onwards, dedicated practice to improvisation and cultivating the ability to play anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
anytime, any song. They put that in italics so that I
Yeah.
emphasize.
I mean, yeah, like, sometimes you gotta go fall flat on your face to kinda, realize, right?
Set that
Uh,
fire under your ass.
yeah, yeah, exactly, like, but something I've always kind of, like, nerded out about as a musician, even though it didn't apply to a lot of what I was doing musically, like playing punk rock songs and folk rock, acoustic songs and stuff like that, was improvisation and
Mm.
things like that. But just, like, as a guitar player, sitting around practicing, improvisation just became kind of a regular part of my practice routine. And it wasn't so much being a good improvisationalist, like, oh, I'm gonna go on stage and rip a mean solo and melt everyone's faces. I saw it more as like just a good um songwriting tool,
Mm.
like having already an idea of the direction melodies move in relation to certain chords and progressions, and just kind of having that a sensibility about the, like, melody over chord structure, and it kind of opens up a lot of that stuff. And then you learn where all the notes are on the neck, so if somebody's like, this song's in, like, G Dorian, I know exactly what that is and what notes I can play. So yeah, I think it's just like a good skill to have in general. It's a shame that he found himself,
You had to
yeah,
flop first,
yeah,
had to bomb
had to flop in
first,
front of an
yeah.
audience to kind of realize that. But hey, it's
See, I was always lazy. Clarinet was the only one I, like, did really well. I used to compete with it, and then I
Mhm.
got guitar, and I was like, "Why am I gonna play notes when I could just do chords and then
Yeah.
play any song ever?" Like, it doesn't matter. And then and then, like, I took guitar class, and they would have, like, you'd have to write, like, chord progressions with melodies, and I
Mhm.
just found that if you look at the chord notes individually, those notes as a melody just sound good with that chord, so
Yeah,
I didn't even play it. I just
yeah,
I just theoretically wrote out music to get an A. Like, that was
yeah,
that was
yeah.
my guitar class.
I mean, that is a thing that people do in songwriting entirely. Like, you could say, oh, it's lazy, it's very rudimentary and stuff, but sometimes it works, and
Yeah.
when it works, it works. Like, yeah, only, like, say you have a major chord, and so you're only, and a major chord is made up of, a root, a third, and a fifth, like most chords are, and you are only playing as a, like, a lead note, the root, the third, and the fifth, and kind of dancing between those notes. Yeah, you can build a melody out of that. It happens all the time. Yeah.
It's just magic.
Yeah.
They have one last sentence, and this made me really laugh. This is why I pointed out Moog Prog, because their very last sentence after the enunciation of "Play anything, anytime, any song," they say, "Took a while, but that's Moog Prog today. A highly capable musician who can grab hold of the music and offer meaningful parts in real time." I just like to switch
Excellent.
to third person
Yeah,
there. That
yeah,
was
yeah.
very nice.
I used to always kind of, like, wonder why people do that, but I kinda get it in sort of like, if you're trying to hype yourself up, you gotta be your own hype man sometimes.
Mhm.
So talking to the third person, yeah, that can do that. It's like somebody else is telling you, you got to do this, you got to do that, or you're capable of doing this, you're capable of doing that. Yeah, you
And
got,
Moog Prog
you,
is
you know,
capable.
yeah, you got this, Jimmy. Or like, you're telling yourself stuff like that. I think there is a good legitimacy to that. Yeah,
I do that when I'm, like, scared to try something. So I'm like, once I entered a writing competition, I was like, "I'm not entering it. Jessica is."
yeah,
Completely separate
yeah,
from
exactly.
myself. So if she fails, well, sucks for her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, the last one, is by Kabofsky, and they did this in quotations, so I'm assuming this was, someone said this. "Sure, I'll play bass for you at that festival, despite never having played bass at a show before, right at the peak of my experimentation combining coke with ketamine. What's the worst that can happen for a full 45 minutes?"
I There's a
Is
lot that
that a
can happen.
flop or is that
Yeah,
a win?
yeah. I mean, yeah, like, I first of all, how did you get a gig having never played bass live before. I guess you can just lie. That's the thing.
Plus, I
Yeah,
feel like bass is the easiest one to fake.
maybe, but
Compared like drums, lead guitar, singing, like, those ones
yeah,
are
yeah,
hard, but, like, bass, you can kinda, find a couple notes and just
yeah, yeah.
unless it has a bass
If he
line.
knows what the basic chord structure of the song is, and he's just playing the roots, that is kinda that you can get away with that as a bass player, but to anyone with, like, any kind of, like, expectation of musicality in the audience is they might notice that, yeah. I'm not even a bass player, like, I write bass parts, when I'm writing songs and stuff like that, but I don't consider myself a bass player, but these days, like, the past several years, just, like, watching a lot of, local musicians and things like that, the thing that always stands out to me when the band is great is the great bass playing.
Mhm.
That's usually the thing that's pulling it all together and making it work and stuff. And it's just like, oh yeah, these bass lines are great, and he's in the groove, and it just really ties everything together. So yeah, everybody says like a great drummer can make or break the band. I almost feel like it's more the bass player. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, don't ketamine and bass,
yeah.
I think is
Don't.
is, uh
I don't recommend ketamining and going on stage, at all. I'm all pro recreational use of whatever you want. I have no judgments there. But yeah, before going and performing in front of people that maybe paid money to see you, I'm not big on that. I don't like. It feels morally and ethically compromised to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Fair, fair. Well, one person did comment, a reply, and they just put, "I knew a guy who threw his bass in the air and knocked himself out on stage." So I wonder if it's the same guy.
Yeah. He may have been knocked out before the base even hit him by the
Oh my
sounds of
gosh. Oh, ketamine and coke? I was
yeah.
done. Like, how did you even know what a bass was at that point?
Yeah. I mean, I've never done ketamine, so I don't quite know what that's like. I just know kind of secondhand experience from what people have told me.
Yeah, same.
So yeah, like I don't know. I have no idea what that would be like.
Oh, when I'm 80, I'll try it.
I heard it's like you become detached from your body and your motor skills and ability to like control your body and stuff gets really fucked. And that to me just like, well, that sounds horrible. Why would you want to do that? That I don't get the appeal there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah.
We don't have to have every experience, guys.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have to have every one.
Yeah. I see that's why I like psychedelics. I think that's a lot more adventurous and fun. I don't know if there's a psychedelic quality to ketamine or not, but
Like shrooms?
yes, yes, like shrooms.
I love shrooms. I try to do them at least once a year, and kinda reset the brain.
A lot of studies coming out about that, about how good that can be. Yeah.
And my ego is never as big as it is when I'm on shrooms. Like, I'm like, I am the greatest. I am
Usually
a
it's supposed to be the
god."
opposite. Like you get
No.
you experience the ego death because you feel so in touch with the universe
Oh,
and
no,
things
I
like that.
feel I get, like I start crying mucus, and I'm like, "I am so great." It's
That's
like, I'm
amazing.
so funny, like, I can't believe you're all just, like, laughing at me, you know? It's
Yeah,
so great, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah.
I just
Oh god.
it's one of
I
those
wish I
things.
had that,
One
kind of
day,
confidence.
get that,
Yeah.
we'll have a party.
'Cause, yeah, half the time when I, like, even make people laugh on purpose, there's that insecure part of me that's like, "They're not laughing at the joke." They're laughing at you for some other secret reason that you don't understand.
Well, if you're autistic, probably. Like, that's usually what it is, except for me, it just became, like, I don't care why you're laughing if I'm the reason.
Yeah.
It's like, it's still my laugh.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
think a stand-up comedian cares why you're laughing? They're like, "No, they're fucking laughing." So I'm like,
They're
if
up
it's
there to
'cause of
get
my
it. Yeah.
face, I have a booger hanging, whatever it is, well, hey, prop comedy.
Hell yeah.
So, is there ever a time that you totally bombed?
Oh, jeez. Um, not it's funny, because I take practicing in rehearsal, kinda seriously, and, so I'm trying to think of a time where I really, like, fucked up. I don't think I ever have in the sense of, like, performing on stage and just throwing it one way or the other, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened to me directly. There's definitely been some, like, kind of embarrassing incidents, like, back in my I had an old band, when like, my first real gigging band. We were called Die Standing. We put out an EP and an album, and the album got nominated for Punk Record of the Year at the Hamilton Music Awards in 2009. Just to date myself to see show you how long I've been doing this, and
Hey, I
and
was pregnant in high school in 2009.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
fine.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, 2009. I would have been 23 when that album came out, and we lost to a band that uh, was um, touring like Japan at the time, so they were doing pretty good. Like
Yeah.
they were a higher status of a band than we were. So the fact that they won, I didn't really feel super bad about that.
You're like,
I was
"That's the if I was gonna lose, that's the one I'd
yeah,
lose
exactly.
to."
Like I
Yeah.
usually people like submit themselves like, for your consideration, those sort of things for those sorts of award shows. To this day, I have no idea how we got nominated because I didn't do it. And that felt really nice too. Like it was a three-piece band, just like me, drummer, bass player, just kind of like the thing I'm doing now. And yeah, we were practicing one day at the bass player's house in his basement, as we typically did, and he just like we did our set, and we were just sitting on the couch chilling, having a smoke before we went back and did it again, and he just happened to be reading the newspaper, and he was just like, "Oh shit, we're nominated, we're on here, our name is in the paper." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And so that was really cool. We didn't win, but the thing about like that bass player, uh, I wish I had fired him.
Oh, no.
That was the way I bombed. But the thing is, Hamilton had a dearth of bass players. Like it was really hard to find people to be in your band and stuff like that. But the problem with him was he was very bad with the booze and cocaine. Me and the drummer, like, I mean, we were in our early 20s, punk rock kids playing in bands. Of course, we like to dabble a little bit, but it turned out like, and we didn't really realize till like a year or two of him being in the band how
Mm.
bad it was. And so, like, yeah, how like actually addicted
It's
and
always it's the basis. We
yeah,
just want to be
yeah.
lettuce for
Yeah,
it.
like, and when we were confronted with knowledge, it was like, "Oh, fuck." And then on top of that, he was always kind of like a spotty bass player. He didn't like to, like, practice his instrument and challenge himself and get better as days went on, like, as,
Yeah.
time as a band went on. Like, the drummer was really proficient. He had taken lessons all growing up. Like, he really knew what he was doing. And then I was self-taught, but still, like, I spent a lot of time studying to know what I was doing. And then there was him who just was just kind of half-assing it all the way. A couple of shows, he got so drunk, he laid down on stage, just literally like couldn't stand up anymore, continued to play, but just like laid down on his back and just played like that.
Okay, this coke and ketamine bass player is starting to sound, like, realistic now,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he was doing ket. I think it was just like coke
No,
and
no,
booze.
no, but yeah.
But yeah, and so it was that sort of thing, and like, and yeah, he would just do like really self-destructive drunken things too. Like he would wander off, and next thing you know, it turned out he was mouthing somebody off in the street and got himself punched in the face, or shit like that. Why I stuck with this guy for as long as I did when he was an active detriment on my career and life. I don't know.
How long? How long were you with
How
him?
long was he in the band?
Yeah.
I wanna say maybe almost 4 years.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was our longest running bass player. Our first bass player, Dave, he was cool, like, and he was a good bass player, and he had like good musicality and stuff like that. But he quit to, I think yeah, he went and got an economics degree, and I think he's like a college professor now.
That
Uh,
dick.
yeah, yeah. So that's what he did, and so yeah, after he left, the one thing about it, like always problems with bass players. Dave never liked to carry anything. You know, like we'd be getting ready for the gig, and you'd be lucky if he carried his own bass into
He
the
just
club.
didn't load it. He was just a
Just didn't load
little
it. He was just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. But you know, when he played, he played, so whatever. But yeah, like that was, and I think that at least in the early parts of my music career was the bomb, the consistent bomb.
Mhm.
Having dependable people that were going to show up and be pros, and because like I don't think people appreciated it like at the time where I was coming from. uh Trying to explain to them, it's like, "No, this is a job for me. Like, this isn't like
Yeah, like, they
fun."
weren't as serious about it as, like, a
Yeah.
hobby band.
Yeah, yeah, like, no, I wanna put out albums, I wanna tour, I wanna make this a working, machine, and I think in their minds, it was always, "Well, this is just something cool I can do right now," and anytime they're like, "Yeah, man, that sounds cool, I wanna do that," it was just kind of just to appease me, and they didn't really mean it. And yeah, like, 'cause even the album that got made that, we, like, paid a studio to record and stuff, that came from a lot of pressure from me. Like, just like, come on, guys, we have to do this. Like, talking them into it every day, like all the time, just constantly trying to keep them on the ball
I
and
hate being
have them
that
see the truth.
person
Yeah,
that cares.
yeah. It's really, really exhausting, and,
Yeah.
so it was after that when, like, basically, what broke the band up ultimately, ironically, uh, was, the bassist knocked up his girlfriend. So he was like, "I'm gonna be dad, can't be in a band." And even at our like, and he kind of told us like the day before we had a show, and that would turn out to be our last show. And when all of like when a bunch of his friends came, they were even kind of razzing him like, "Dude, I have a kid. I do fun stuff I want to do all the time. Like, you could still have time to do the things you want to do with your life." And he was kind of getting this attitude of, because he was a couple of years older than us. So I would have been about 24, 25 at this point. And so he's like, "Oh, you know, I'm 27 or I'm turning 28 now, and I'm gonna have a kid. I can't be in a band anymore." Like he was basically saying like it was kid stuff, which was like
It just
such
sounds like an excuse.
yeah. And it was such a kick in my chops because I just spent years being like, I take this very seriously and this is my life. And, you know, he just sort of was like, well, I lied to you about how serious it was and I never cared.
Okay, to
And
our
that was,
listeners out there, just know I am above the age of 27, 28, and I have 2 children.
yeah, yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the consistent bomb was like just trying to pull a band together and depend on other people, right? And I realized after being burned by that so many times, I went, screw this. I'm going solo. And like, you know, I just started playing acoustic gigs and doing like acoustic punk and folk punk and that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And not out of like, this is the direction I want to take myself artistically, but just out of the mere fucking economics
Yeah,
of
this
it.
is what you can do right
Yeah,
now,
yeah, this
yeah.
is what I like, and this was at a time I remember talking to a couple, like, promoters about this, like, just, like, people in the music biz that I had enough rapport with that we would have conversations like this, and I remember 'em referring to, like, yeah, kind of being in a band and touring is a bit old hat, and like, that could, because of the economics of the industry and things like that, uh and the idea of just touring all the time in order to gain a following and success was becoming less and less of a thing, even though
Yeah.
that's still mostly the formula that people follow.
A lot of people use TikTok now for that,
Yeah, exactly,
because you can do
exactly.
that at home with a phone you already have.
Yep. Yep.
It just made it accessible to reach the masses.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, and so when I started doing the solo thing and, going out and doing those gigs, turned out I started making more money, than I ever had been in a band, and, this was not doing cover gigs either. I never got into doing cover gigs. I felt like even though that's a great way to make money playing music, if that's what you wanna do, I was very much set on being an artist, you
Mhm.
know? And so I wanted to create and show my creations. And so that's what I did. And it turned out pretty good for a number of years, but my God, I missed being in a band. And even to a lot of people who were familiar with my work, were like, they would say every now and then, it's like, you really shine a lot more when you're in a band. It's like, yeah, I know that.
I think
Like,
it's 'cause, like, you could play off the other energies on
exactly,
stage.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think like everybody, essentially
Yeah.
shines a little bit more when they have accompaniment on stage.
When you're with
Uh,
other people,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. And like, yeah, so that kind of became my modus operandi. And then in like, yeah, and the whole time I lived in Toronto, I didn't even uh, bother trying to form a band because while the early days of the Rough Go, before I moved to Toronto, what actually kickstarted me moving to Toronto in the first place, this was another bomb. Like, uh,
You're
not,
thinking
not
of them now, they're all
yeah, no,
coming,
like
yeah.
not bombing on stage again. I don't think I've ever done that, but everything around my music career has a lot of bombs there.
You've just been
Uh,
dodging, like, landmines.
yeah, yeah. Well, I after Die Standing broke up, I started talking with a person I never thought I would have this opportunity with, and I thought, "Holy shit, this is gonna be awesome." I finally my dedication has paid off to some degree, and, the, drummer, from The Creep Show, a very successful, punk rock band, started messaging me and being like, "Yeah, I saw your band broke up, like, do you still wanna do something?" It's like, yeah. With you, yes, absolutely. Incredible drummer, very talented guy. Just great sense of musicality outside of the drums. He knew how to do like even decent basement recordings for laying down demos and stuff like that. That was a skill I did not have at the time. And so yeah, like a lot of it was very exciting. And he had a lot of connections and a lot of people knew him. And so like
Okay, so
getting
where's the bomb? Where's the bomb? This sounds great so
this is
far.
gonna sound insane. This is gonna sound insane because I don't want like, there was a bit of bad blood, at the end of this, and he didn't talk to me for a long time, but, like, I'll get into that a little bit. But, uh, basically, it kinda came down to like, played a number of gigs, very good ones, and again, because I had a bit of, an establishment with, like, Die Standing, people in Southern Ontario and that kind of musical pocket knew who I was, but the Creep Show, a lot bigger. And so, but between those two things, our first handful of gigs in and around the GTA were really great. And I was just like, I was kind of on a high. I'm like, oh my God, like this is finally working, after all these years of slugging it out. So,
Mhm.
shit's coming together. And then, uh, rotating cast of bassists and drummers. I would fully train, no, bassists and second guitarists because we were pretty well determined not to be a three piece. We wanted to have like a lead
Yeah.
guitar player, and so we just like went through a bunch of guys. Like I would train a guy, and I was living in Hamilton, he was living in Scarborough, the drummer, and we were coming together at a jam space that was basically in the. We had a couple different ones, but I think the one we spent the most amount of time at was in the basement of what at the time was the Sound Academy. I think it's called Rebel now, but we somehow, I don't know, like probably Matt knowing people like the drummer,
Yeah.
yeah, we were able to rent this rehearsal space in the basement of that building. Like when we stopped playing our songs in between, we could hear whoever was playing Sound Academy that night right above us. And so yeah, like that was super cool. But I like we'd bring in these bassists and guitarists. I teach them the songs. Like we had like 5 or 6 songs. Teach them it, rehearse it, get it down, play a show, maybe 2, they'd quit. And it kept happening. Like, we went through, like 4 bass players,
Did they
at
give a
least.
reason?
No, a lot of them were just like, "I don't really have the time," or, like, things like that. Like, just, like, not really reasons,
Yeah.
and so it was just like, "What the fuck, man?" And so during that time, because Matt had quit the Creep Show because he just like wasn't happy in that band anymore, and that was basically it. He's just like, yeah, I can't stand what this project is. I want to do different things, and since he wasn't in that band anymore, that was his only job from the time he was 18.
That's crazy.
He was playing in the Creep Show, and within a few months, they had like a really fast success story. They just took off immediately, and like within the first few months, they had a guy booking tours for them, and he was a full time drummer. That was it. He never worked a real job. He never had a real job before. So now that he had quit the Creep Show and needed to make money,
Yep.
he started doing roofing, and he after like the rigmarole of going through all these members and stuff, basically at the end of it, he went, I'm kind of liking this steady money and not touring thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He quit and it decided he was just simply not going to be a
He's
professional
just
drummer
a roofer now.
anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
Th
He liked the steady money and not traveling. And I was just like, uh, half the reason I want to do this is travel. Like the odd couple tours in my life I've gotten to do, just short ones, mind you. They were some of the favorite things I've ever done in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted it all the time. I wanted it so bad and had no opportunity. I am not great at marketing myself or selling myself or warming the right. Like I'm not good at kissing the rings. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Where it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is a guy. He's an important guy. You want to impress him, and I don't know. I'm not good at doing that. I'm not good at being a kiss ass. I just always thought like, if I'm my real authentic self, which is all these stories you hear from rock stars over the years, just because they're so unabashedly themselves, right?
Yeah. That's what
Uh,
rock
that
is.
yeah, exactly, and that was like the winning formula. Your Iggy Pops, your David Bowies, your Ramones. Like the Ramones were notorious for being not nice gentlemen. They were
No.
notoriously like rude and very abrasive to be around.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
why they
know,
have propaganda movies about them
the-
seeming like nice gentlemen.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah, yeah,
same with,
exactly.
like,
Like,
Kiss
I
and
think
stuff.
Joey was kind of the nice guy. He was the upfront guy, but the rest of the guys were apparently,
But
yeah, quite
Joey had, like, eating issues. I think Joey was just very autistic.
yeah, yeah,
Like, he
yeah.
had
Oh,
so
yeah.
many food issues, and so he just didn't
And
know.
so, like, taking all that in mind, it's just like, and being the kind of punk rock guy I was, I didn't think that was a detriment. But apparently, I don't know, the rest of the punk rock industry, not as punk rock as they claim to be. And I found it really hard to get support and get people supporting me as a musician. That was always a struggle. And it's like, sure, that's a struggle for any
Pretty much,
artist,
yeah.
yeah, right?
Every artist out there nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, like, that's the main struggle, right? But yeah, I've definitely, like, lost good opportunities, lost good gigs because, I stood up to somebody's sexism or racism and called them out on it, and
Mhm.
they were the wrong person to say that to, and it actively hurt my career.
Yep.
So that was a bomb. I consider that a bomb.
That
Uh
is, it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Like, and, so, yeah, not being able to cozy up to people I don't really like or I think are terrible. Like, this is, like, we're talking this was before the big Me Too era, but I was we were all kind of seeing what was revving up
Yeah.
to that because like the social commentary around how we talk about women, how we talk about minorities, we were becoming a lot more woke in a greater scale
Mhm.
in that way. And to me, when that was happening, I was like, fucking finally, because I'm so tired of biting my tongue. I'm so tired of biting my lip to be polite, to be the nice guy. So I kind of shed all that, especially like being a solo artist. I figure like I got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah, you don't have to you're not representing, like, other people's opportunities,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, and, the Facebook threads and all the music people that I knew and stuff, you would sometimes people saying casually the most horrible things, and I'd be like, "Yo, that's pretty bigoted, man, like, what the fuck?" And, they didn't like me saying that, or even talking about how because like this is going to get a little dark actually, but in the early days in the punk rock scene in Hamilton, in just the metal scene, hardcore scene, they were a little bit homogenous just because of how
Mhm.
big Hamilton was and that sort of thing. The propensity to actively pursue underage girls was not only normal, but encouraged.
Mhm.
And when I started talking mad shit about that, I noticed I suddenly, I don't know, had a lot less
As
interaction.
a former underage girl, I can confirm this was big in a lot of, like, the punk rock spaces even in my
Yeah.
city, and, like,
And even in
Headley
my
stopped by.
young 20s mind, this like, it became normalized to me. It was
Mhm.
something that had to, like, almost become unlearned, and, luckily for me, I did not get sucked into, actually engaging in that activity because I had a longtime girlfriend at the time that, I was quite faithful to from the age of 19 to 25, pretty much the entire time I was in that first band, I was with one girl and we were the same age. So yeah, or no, well, she
Yay!
was 1 year younger than me, but whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
robber. You're the
yeah, yeah.
robber.
Yeah, so I was 19 and she was 18 when we started dating. So
What? Illegal adults
I know, we were both legal adults. How crazy
and
is that?
teenagers at the same time.
Yeah, and so but I was watching it happen around me, I was seeing how people were talking about it, and
Warped Tour was terrible for that.
yeah, and I even had it in my head, it's just like, "No, this is just, like, how this stuff goes," These teenage girls, these 15, 16-year-olds, they wanna date guys in their 20s.
They're groupies.
This is like, this is how life is. This is how normal things go. So this is all very normal
It
behavior.
was normalized
Eh
in
eh
the media at this time
Yeah,
too. Like, this
yeah,
was like Demi
absolutely.
Lovato dating, like, Wilmer Valderrama or whatever his name was, and,
Yeah.
like, 16 and 17-year-olds dating 20-year-olds
Yeah, like,
in
well, like
the
Mila
media was
Kunis
normal.
and,
Oh,
Ashton
Ashton
Kutcher.
Kutcher.
Yeah, she was, like,
There was the
15,
clock to get Mary-Kate and Ashley to 18,
yeah, yeah,
that they
uh,
used to just casually play, like, this was yeah, it
yeah,
was mainstream.
yeah, exactly, and so, like, at the coming out of that and becoming more woke to, like, these issues and what their impacts are and how they actually affect people, it was, a mixture of shock and guilt and disgust, with, like, how seemingly everyone around me was some level of unforgivable terrible in my
Yeah.
mind. A racist, a misogynist, a pedophile, like however you want to put it. So many people were one of these things,
Mhm.
you know, and so yeah, I got really fed up with it and just started calling spades spades and calling people out and not taking apologies and yeah, it didn't work out super well for me financially. That was a bomb.
I just wanna say, like, yeah, like, all those are bombs, but now you've, like, released your self-produced album, you're
Yep,
doing a lot more live
yep,
shows,
yep.
so
And I am and yeah, yeah, that sounds positive, but, uh, and this and this is, I think, a positive thing about all musicians and creative people in general, and
mhm,
so this isn't just about me when I'm saying this because it's gonna sound a bit self-congratulatory in a way, but honestly, when you consider the economics of things and, the amount of, like, how hard it is to get attention, how hard it is to gain a following, I don't know in a lot of ways how all this art gets made at all, because it is so difficult.
Mhm.
It is so thankless. You, like, what is it? Last show I did, as fun as the show as that was, I did not get a dime. Uh,
Mm.
not a dime. The one I did before that, I paid because of how I do the full band thing now, and my apprehension to get in too deep with band members that I'm not 100% sure how dedicated they are. I
Fair.
prefer to go in the direction of hired guns.
Mhm.
I love the guys that play with me. They're very talented guys, and in different circumstances, I might say, like, I want them to be so-called permanent members of the band. They sort of are already, but I pay them like as
Yeah.
as much as I can. Like, even if I don't make money, I pay them because it's like, no, I hired you. We didn't get hired. I got hired to be the musician, and then I hired you to be my band. And even if I don't get paid, I'm going to make sure you guys do.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
contracting them out.
Exactly, exactly. So I lose money on gigs oftentimes by doing that. But like, yeah, the last gig I did, I paid the guys like $40 each because that's all I could do. And I got $40 from the venue. So I
Mm.
lost $40 paying those guys. And again, that's the most I could do. Like for your that basically a full day's work to do a show. Like you're not just showing up right before you go on stage and blasting out in half an hour and getting
No,
to go
there's
home.
sound check,
Yeah,
there's loading in, there's
yeah.
loading out,
Yeah,
there's so much.
it's a whole thing. So it does take up your entire day, to only lose $40. You know, and then on top of like like, and I don't want to like sit here and like shit on the people that work hard to make these shows happen and stuff like that. This is just like the economics of it
Yeah.
and how crazy it is. And I might be able to get nitpicky and get in the business of it and be like, yeah, you know what? I feel like I probably could have gotten paid had they, thought of things a little bit differently or looked at things a little bit differently. But it is what it is, right?
I think
And
that's a bomb a lot of, like, indie artists are feeling
yeah,
nowadays,
yeah.
you know?
Like you don't make money playing shows, kids. I'm sorry to tell you. You're paying like, and, it's going to sound super cynical because that's kind of the mode I'm in right now, I guess. But you know, people are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for inflated Ticketmaster prices, right? But they can't go and support their local musicians, and they don't. And it's really hard to get them to do that, no matter how talented they are. Because, like, quite frankly, I know my stuff sounds good. I know it's not bad. I know it's listenable at the very least, and it's a lot better than what some other people may be offering. But
All the
that
AI slop out
yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, the bar is low, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is not indicative of them coming and buying tickets, right?
No.
That's not indicative of them buying your T-shirt. That's not indicative like that. That is an entirely different type of animal. And then on top of that, like I recorded that album and I self-produced it, and I did 100% of what you hear on that record is entirely me. No one else worked on it at all. And that was a huge point of pride for me. I felt awesome doing it. I'm glad I did it, but I have maybe made $150 selling that record. Yeah,
Yep.
that's probably about the total amount of money I brought in from that record, sitting in front of thousands of dollars of recording gear I spent to create it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I didn't want to go to a studio because I'm like, well, like studios are like it cost me my
Yeah,
last
yeah,
the
you
last
would've
album I
spent
did.
so much,
I would have spent
yeah.
like $4,000 or $5,000 doing it through a studio, at least to $5,000, and because that was how much my album in 2009 cost to make. And that was a very good cheap rate too. Like those guys were very nice to us and how much time we spent in the studio making that record and how much it actually cost to do it. They're Hive Studios. I don't know if they're still around, but they deserve props for that. Yeah, like
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I guess that's a good place to end it is, like, go see live shows
Yeah,
nearby,
yeah.
if the tickets
Go
are under
watch people
$30, go.
bomb.
Yeah,
What?
go
Yeah, yeah.
watch people bomb, that's the human
Yeah,
condition.
well, actually, what I did last night, a very fun thing, and it was very wholesome and pleasant. I got to be a sound tech for like a kids rock camp.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So it was like 3 bands and each had like the coaches who were like experienced musicians, professional music teachers, things like that. And they each went up and did a few songs, each one of these bands. And, they were kids. They're like, between the ages of like probably like 13 to 16, that sort of
Okay,
pocket.
yeah.
And so, they didn't sound super great. They weren't super tight, but the fact that they were up there doing it and really trying, that
Yes.
was gorgeous. It was wonderful to see it happen. And taking on challenges, like the one band did Tom Sawyer by Rush. And it was like, yeah, again, like it wasn't a professional rendition of the song. They are just kids after all, but the fact that they went for it, that
You
that
don't
was
get
freaking
good until
awesome.
you are bad
Yeah.
first,
Exactly.
It's just some people are bad in front of an audience
Yeah,
and some people
and
are
like,
bad in private.
and if any of those kids happen to see this and they're like, "Oh, I wasn't good," and it's like, no, you have to understand for like a 14-year-old, you were incredible because like it takes. There are people in their 20s who can't do that, who are
Mhm.
experienced musicians and still can't play pieces like that as solidly as they should be played. So
Yeah.
no, that it is an incredible accomplishment, and so yeah, that was really awesome and wholesome. But I kept thinking it's just like for some of these kids that are going to go on to be in gigging bands, and how good the energy in this room is now. Oh, it's all down here hill from here, kid.
Oh, no. Well, thank you so much for coming on. If there's anything you wanna plug, now is your time to do it.
Yeah. Well, please buy my record. I need money. You can go to Bandcamp. The Rough Go is on Bandcamp. Buy my record from there. That is presently the only place to really buy it. I am on all the streaming services, but we know how that goes. So please buy the record or a T-shirt. I have the T-shirts on my Bandcamp as well. And go see your local musicians.
Yes, I will link your Bandcamp in the description below along with all your socials, so you
Heck
guys can
yeah.
check that out. Definitely check out us on The Rough Report, Thursdays at 8 PM Eastern over on YouTube, which will also be linked below. And then thank you all so much. Don't forget to check out our Totally Bombed Reddit or DM me if you want to share your bombed stories that might get read on here. Make sure to follow us on all the socials. Check back to the old Opinionated Lushes episodes. They're still there. They're not going anywhere, but I appreciate you all coming on this new journey with me. And we'll see how it is. And we'll see you all in the next episode.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.